Have you ever felt lost in a shadow of grief and your pain is so overwhelming that you have no energy to do much of anything that you used to do? And you're wondering if you're ever going to feel better again. And you see other people experience loss. They seem to be doing good, but you're really not doing good. And sometimes you feel all alone out there drowning in the sea of grief. Well, today, I want to share with you some things that have helped thousands of people that we've been privileged to work with over the years, that we've discovered strategies that actually help people live forward with their pain. But at Spark of Life that we began in 2009, so many people have come to our retreats, and we get asked this all the time. Somebody comes to a retreat because their friend or their family said, why don't y'all go to one of those Spark of Life retreats? And they go and they come back, and the people see that they're different. They're not cured of anything, but they have more hope than they had. They have a little bit more spring to their step. They're still in pain with grief, but they are living forward with their pain, and other people notice it. So often people come to us, they call us and say, what do y'all do at the retreats that help people? And I want to share with you some things that we do that are strategies and introduce you to one. And by the end of this video, I'm going to share one strategy that you can start doing today that will actually propel you a little bit further into a healthy recovery and give you a little bit more hope for life again than maybe you had before the video. We had done quite a few retreats when I got a phone call from somebody I'd never met. Somebody had that he knew had come to a retreat. A family, in fact, had come to a retreat, and they came back. They were different. They had more hope. They had more energy. And so he said, what went on at this retreat? Well, they tried to tell him, but he still was skeptical. So he called me. He had lost his wife of 25 years in a tragic accident. He had two children. They were about 25 and 30. They were reeling from the loss of their mother. And he was grappling. This guy was highly educated and highly skeptical of almost anything. He had been in pain for a couple of years since his wife's death. And of course he was lonely. And of course he was kind of drowning in the shadow of his grief and the ocean of his grief. And it just came on him like waves, he said. So when he called me, he said, look, I've had some people that I trust and I love, and they went to one of your retreats and they came back and they were helped greatly by it. I want to know if you can guarantee me, if me and my two grown children come to this retreat, that you guarantee me that we will be in a healthy recovery. He said something like that. I remember telling him, there's no way I can guarantee that. In fact, if I did guarantee it, you need to hang up on me, run far away, and never recommend Spark of Life to any griever. Because anybody who guarantees something when somebody's heart is broken simply is not telling you the truth. He said, then why should I come to your retreat? I said, you might not need to come to my retreat, but since you're asking, I just know that the strategies we share with you, the principles that are so fundamental and can be so life-giving and life-changing, that if you apply them to where you are with your particular grief situation, I can't guarantee that you're going to be healed. Nobody's ever totally healed. You'll still have your pain, but you have a great chance to have hope, better and stronger than what you have today, that life can be good again. He was grappling for hope. Almost everybody we deal with since 2009 at Spark of Life are looking for hope. So I want to share with you the spa treatment that we have instituted at Spark of Life. It's called the spa treatment because one of our undergirding principles that guided us when we start this was that we're going to treat people and honor people who are hurting and try to give them something tangible that they can take back home with them and really make a difference in their life as they grieve maybe the greatest loss of their life. And so it's the spa treatment. And I want to share these three principles with you and then give you one specific strategy that you can use today within the next hour, within the next 30 minutes, if you're willing to do that. And it won't take away all your pain, but it can certainly propel you to a little bit more hope than you had before. And then if you want to come to a retreat or take an online course, you can contact us and we'll try to make that happen. But the spa treatment, we label it the spa treatment because when we started Spark, we wanted to treat people with respect, and realize that everybody's grief is different. Everybody's loss is different. And everybody's recovery is very unique. So I'm going to share with you the SPA treatment. The S stands for specific strategies. Strategies are no good if they're vague. I mentioned on other videos this strategy of doing the next right thing, of doing the one thing that you need to do this week in your recovery, the doing of which will make the doing of other things either unnecessary or easier, and reduce your recovery to simple, specific strategies. The more vague they are, the worse it gets, because you just can't do something vague. It's got to be specific. And at the end of this video, again, we'll share with you one specific strategy you can do. The P stands for personal. I've already stated this. Every single loss is unique to the griever. A mom and dad can lose the same child, and we've dealt with hundreds of couples who've lost children. And a mom and dad can lose the same child, and they grieve differently. They might have a lot of similarities, but I'll almost guarantee you this: they'll grieve in different ways. And if they don't recognize that all recovery from loss is very personal, because the relationship you had with the one you lost is very deeply personal and unique. So strategies need to be specific. Personal means that you need to apply to where you are. Personal because you own your own recovery. Nobody else owns it. Owns your recovery. There's another aspect of personal in the SPA treatment, SPA. S is specific strategies. And we might as well say simple, specific strategies. P is very personal. And another reason the way the P stands for is that each person we meet at Spark of Life, we want to treat as the most important person in the world at that moment. Our philosophy, and by the way, we are not perfect in this because we're human, but our philosophy from the beginning is that anybody who walks in, for example, to a retreat, at a Spark of Life retreat, we're going to honor them, we're going to serve them, we're going to treat them like a king or queen. Each one of us deserve to be treated like a king or queen for a while. I want to encourage you to not only treat others as the most important person in the world for a moment, but to look at yourself. You are important. We believe in the power of owning your own recovery when you're in deep grief. We want to empower people that come to Spark of Life, that you have it within you to get up and live forward with your pain and have hope and purpose and, yes, even joy again. That's our philosophy at Spark of Life. So the treatment of people needs to be personal. Your recovery needs to be personal. It's specific, it's personal. And the third point, the last point is it needs to be available. You need to be able to do it. At our retreats at Spark of Life, we have everybody write down the one thing they need to do. I did a previous video, and you might look it up on the one thing, do the next right thing. And it's a powerful concept. You can't do two things at equal intensity at one time. I have to break down any recovery to the next right thing. It's trite, but it's true. And the reason it's trite is because it is true. So it's repeated often. I cannot get from here to the moon in my recovery after watching this video. But if you're here in your hope factor, you can get to here in watching this video. And that's our goal for this video and all our videos, is to give you a little bit more hope. But my strategies have to be simple, and they have to be specific, and they have to be personal. And the strategies, you have to be able to do them. The methodologies that we recommend at retreats and in our online course, and we go into detail about that, and in our grief coaching, and all our coaches know this, that we want to walk beside people and help them do a specific, personal, available strategy in order to help them live forward with their pain and not just exist forward. I want you, if you would just consider this, is to think of one person that needs your encouragement today, one person, and treat them as the most important person in the world for the next 5 minutes, and text them or email them or call them and say, hey, I just want to call and tell you how much I love you and how much I appreciate your friendship or your life. It might take you less than 60 seconds to write a text to somebody to encourage them. But when you do something specific like that, it's a very specific strategy. It's very personal, because you want to be treated as important, treat somebody else as needing an encouraging word today, and then you can do that. It's available. My phone's right here. And what it does is get my mind focused on something other than my loss. I can't deny my loss. I can't act as if it didn't happen, but I can use simple personal strategies that are available for you right now to propel yourself living forward instead of existing forward. Our hope for you is that you'll discover hope and that you'll have simple, personal, powerful, available strategies for you to use to live forward with your pain. At Spark of Life, we believe in hope, and we believe you can have hope again to live forward. At Spark of Life, there's always, always hope.